Right then, what we've got here is Games Workshop's heavy metal paint set. Okay, supposed to be limited edition. You get like 9 highlight paints and a paintbrush and a nice little manual. Okay, so let's have a look exactly what's in the box and let's see, you know, if all this is worth it. As you can see, you get 9 paints, 9 very colourful paints. Okay, you know, we're talking, you know, really nice and colourful pinks, lilacs, you know, very kind of fluorescent oranges and blues and greens. Okay, you know, very kind of in your face kind of colours, but these are designed to basically get those nice edges, those nice fine highlights you'll do on armor, clothing, faces and all that kind of stuff to really you know, give it that final last little touch to your highlights. Okay, and that's what this whole box set is about. What you also get, oh, just to kind of let you know, I mean, these paints are like basically a layer kind of consistency. Okay, so you know, they're nice and thin. Okay, but you know, they've still got that high pigment count that you get from layers. Okay, so you're probably going to be wanting to thin these down. You know, they do come with a different kind of labeling. Okay, they get a bit of gold on there and it says Edge and some more weird names to go through. You also get a paintbrush, okay, a heavy metal detail paintbrush. Okay, now the paintbrush you get with this isn't any cheap rubbish. Okay, what you get is actually a pretty damn decent paintbrush. Okay, you know, pure sable and everything, and it's supposed to be, you know, top quality. Okay, for doing some top quality work. Okay, so you know, nothing cheap and nasty about the paintbrush you get. In fact, if you buy this set, this is probably going to end up being the most expensive paintbrush you own. Okay, which is the same case for me. It's the most expensive paintbrush I own. And you also get a heavy metal little booklet. Okay, not much to sing and dance about, to be honest with you. Although you might see quite a bit of writing here, actually that is like 5 different translations. Okay, so it's just a little bit of a write up there. You know, it tells you what colours you've got in there, and then you know, you've got basically this bit of a picture thing going on. Let's bring you in a bit closer maybe. Yeah, you got this kind of like picture story thing going on. Okay, the writing you're seeing here, okay, as I've said, you know, everything has been translated 5 times, so you're only talking like a little bit of writing, really not much kind of being explained, shall we say. You know, the pictures are doing the explanations, and you know, I can just flick through this quickly. You know, there is not really much information going on. You know, it's just basically quickly telling you, you know, about highlights and just getting those edges with these new paints, and that there isn't much going on with this. Once you've read it, you've read it, and you know, if you ever run out of toilet paper, well, you know, you've got a backup. So you know, that's it really for that little manual. Not really much. What really you're paying for in this little box is these paints and the paintbrush. Okay, now price. Okay, now we get on to a bit of a touchy subject. Okay, the price of this is £35, and I really don't like to kind of comment much on Games Workshop prices, because let's face it, okay, Games Workshop is expensive. Okay, anyone who's ever gone into Games Workshop and everything, you know it's expensive. I mean, some of the prices they charge on some things are absolutely ridiculous. You know, everything seems to have a premium on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, these are top quality paints, top quality paintbrushes, and everything else that Games Workshop sells is pretty damn good quality. You know, it's no cheap stuff. You know, it does all work. It's just they charge, you know, that extra premium. And for example, okay, Games Workshop paints, you know, they're £2.30 for 12 mils. Okay, I've got Tamiya, I've got a load of different manufacturers, and you know, you've got Tamiya £1.50, you've got Malaysia £1.70, £1.80, extra acrylic no more than £2. Okay, you know, they do actually put that you know, extra premium on top. They are more expensive, okay, but that's something we've kind of got to accept, and it's something I can't really go off to you and say, well, because it's £35 it's not worth it, because if you're interested in Games Workshop, you're obviously willing to pay that premium, that bit extra, because it's Games Workshop. So, you know, I can't really comment on the price, okay, but I suppose what I can do is kind of let you know what I think about this product, whether I think, you know, it's recommended or not. Putting the price aside, is this recommended? And sadly, you know, I don't like to normally say this, but I'm going to have to say this product is not recommended, okay? So I've said no, it's not recommended, so I need to back that up with some evidence why it's not recommended. Well, first off, I actually don't have all the dry compound paints that Games Workshop sells, but I've got enough here to basically show you why I don't think this works. Well, first off, I've got these four, and we can kind of match these up, okay. Flesh tone, where's that gone? There we go, that one goes there, that one goes there, okay. So as you can see, I've just basically picked out these paints. Now, these paints here as well, okay, I don't actually have the dry compounds here with me. They're actually in the post on the way here. But I know from looking at the dry compound colour chart, you know, they've basically got these colours here. Because these colours, if we have a look on camera, look at that. Okay, we've got a dry compound in these new edge paints, and they're looking quite similar, okay. And as I say, you know, I haven't got all the dry compounds, but it definitely looks like, you know, you've got all the colours for these, okay, as well. So, starting to look a bit, okay, what's going on here? Why have we got the same colour paints? Well, I'm kind of thinking Games Workshop wanted, okay, the dry compounds colours as a paintable form, okay, which sounds kind of cool, because these dry compounds, you can't really get a paintbrush and dip in and paint. You know, they're designed for dry brushing. They're designed to be really thick, really kind of dryish like, so that you can dry brush really cool, okay, and nice and easy. But these layer paints, okay, have been thinned down to a point where you can actually paint with a paintbrush, okay, which, as I say, sounds all cool, but then, you know, you're paying £35 for these 9 paints, when I'm just going to bring you in and I'm going to show you one of the reasons why I don't think this set's really worth it, okay. We can get our edge paint, okay, our lilac colour here. We can just get a bit of paint and we can just put a bit on our palette here, okay, just to show you that paint. Okay, let's get some water. Okay, now I don't really want to be mixing with my fancy paintbrush, okay, so I'm just going to get a base coat one, okay, and I've got my lilac dry paint here, okay, and as you can see, it's quite a dry sort of paint, okay, almost mousse like, okay, and I'll bring you right in actually on this so you can actually see what I mean about these paints. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, this here, this is our edge paint, okay, and then we've got this dry compound, okay, and as you can see, the colour is like virtually identical, but we get ourselves a bit of water, okay, start getting ourselves a bit of water, and what we do is, I mean, this is going to take a little bit of time, okay, really trying to kind of mix this and get out all the lumps and all the bumps and stuff, okay, but if you bear with me, you will see that both the edge paint and the dry paint are exactly the same, apart from one thing, right? The dry paints are drier and the edge paints have got you know, more thinners, more water, or whatever it is they use to thin these down. Okay, and we're almost there. And I did find in a bit of testing that if you get a bit of X20A thinners, okay, just on a paintbrush, just to finish it off, okay, that really kind of gets it to a nice paintable consistency. Okay, so although that may have taken a bit of time, okay, you have basically just made an edge paint out of your dry paints, okay. And that is one of the reasons why I say, you know, this isn't really a recommended kit, because if you're someone who is thinking about buying these heavy metal edge paints, okay, then I'm assuming that you're a bit of a serious Games Workshop kind of painter, and what you're probably already got at home is a hell of a lot of the Games Workshop new paint range, which means you've probably already got a bunch of dry paints. And as I've just shown you, if you've got the dry paints, you've got the edge paints, okay. And just to kind of finish this off, the paintbrush, okay, if you're probably thinking, wow, you got this very fine, good quality heavy metal paintbrush, well, go to Winsor & Newton website and you will find on there that you can pick any paintbrush you want in size 0, 00, 000, okay, any top quality paintbrush you want on there, and you won't have to spend any more than £10. The maximum priced detail paintbrush I found, you know, pure sable and everything, was £10, okay, so £10 and under, and you can get a damn good paintbrush, okay, unless you really want this heavy metal paintbrush. So as you can see, this is the reason why I say no, this is not a recommended set, okay. I mean, if you know, at the end of the day, you know, this is all up to you, and this whole review is hopefully kind of made your mind up whether or not you want to buy this, or whether you don't want to buy this. You know, I've given you the information, you know, what I think, you know, I've showed you one or two things, you know, it's all up to you now. It's kind of whether you want to pay that premium, you know, and get these paints, you know, maybe you don't want to mix it up to make your own with the compounds or whatever, you know, it's all up to you. So hopefully that's been a big help.